Good morning, everybody. Pastor Rick here, Broadman Baptist Church in Cuyahoga Falls. What a wonderful day to be alive in the Lord. This is the Broadman Word for January 15th, 2021. And today I want to talk to you about kindness and having an air of kindness about you, a heart of kindness. Romans 12:21 tells us to not be overcome by evil, but to overcome evil with good. It's an amazing little statement. There's a lot packed into it because there's always plenty of evil going on out there in the world, and some of it is directed at us personally. So I'm going to tell you a story about a Christian, a long-time Christian member of a church for a very long time, and an engaged individual, small groups, discipleship, devotionals, corporate worship, tithing and offering, volunteering at the church, helping others um, outside of the church with things, a very engaged walk. And he finds himself one day in a social situation with other believers, and one of them levels a pretty serious accusation at him about a wrongdoing from over 2 decades ago. That's a situation where he can't really defend himself. He didn't know about this person's perception and certainly didn't remember it from over 20 years ago. But there it was laying out there, and there wasn't much to be done about it in terms of resolution. So now he's thinking to himself, great, this is my reward. I serve, I give, I help. I show kindness. I'm walking how I'm supposed to walk, and this is what I get. This is the return. And so that then begins to affect how he feels about these other things, and then affect his level of effort and his engagement with the things that we're called to do. But the gentleman finds himself in a laundromat a few days later because his equipment at home wasn't working. Hadn't been to one in a long time, so he wasn't really sure how many quarters he needed, but he figured there'd be a change machine there anyway. So he shows up, puts his stuff in the washing machines, and sure enough, he ends up about 8 quarters short. Goes over to put some dollars in the change machine, and of course, this day it's broken. So he starts asking the other folks in the different aisleways if they would exchange 8 quarters for his $2 bills. And of course, it's crickets. He gets silence, people looking away from him, shrugs of shoulders. Nobody's going to help. So the gentleman's thinking to himself, already in this sort of down state from what had happened just recently. He's thinking, well, I figured, isn't that really what you would expect to happen? So he goes out to his truck to search for change. I don't know that there's going to be 8 quarters laying there, but I guess it was worth a try. And when he comes back in, he goes over to his machines, assumably to take out the stuff that he doesn't have the money to wash. But laying there is 2 stacks of quarters, 4 in each, exactly the 8 quarters that he needed. And so now he's asking around again with folks because he wants to see who his benefactor was, who did this. And of course, nobody fesses up. And the stares and the shrugs, however, this time are accompanied with some smiles and some kind faces. And so he's able to accomplish his laundry that day and never did know who showed him this kindness in his time of need. For us, the evil of the time that we live in is very pervasive, and it will occasionally be directed at us individually. We really shouldn't be surprised because we're followers of Jesus Christ, and if you look at his life, there was a tremendous amount of accusations leveled at him, even hatred, and certainly ultimately evil at play. And he said as much in the book of John that if you follow me, they will hate you. So it's not that it's fun. But we should expect that as such bright shining lights out there in a world that has become so ever darker, that we're going to stand out. And anytime you stand out, somebody's going to try to make you conform. But we have a choice. And that choice is to follow the example of Jesus. No matter what the persecution, no matter what the evil, he showed love and he showed kindness. He showed kindness, obviously, to the people that he healed. He showed kindness in sharing the words of truth in his teachings. And he showed love, ultimately the greatest act of love ever, to reconcile all of us before the cross so that we could know salvation. What a tremendous act of kindness. It's inconceivable the pain and suffering he had to go through, never having been separated from God before, but now he who was without sin had to be made sinful so that we could all benefit from that. But it was all because of love and kindness. In the situation with our Christian friend who was sort of withdrawn, here's the danger. When you let the evil of the world, and particularly the stuff that gets directed at you specifically, when you let that make you back off or withdraw or question, then you're letting circumstance, you're letting worldly circumstance inform your walk. And then when you do that, that information will eventually get you led to conforming to the information from the circumstance, not the one who is above it, not the one who delivered you from it, but the worldly circumstance. When you let that inform your walk, you will conform your walk to the given information. So it only makes sense. What else could happen? So that's why we can't make those choices to allow the information and the pain and the disappointment from circumstances be the thing that we let inform our Christian lives. We have a choice daily to show kindness and to show love and to not have our peace disturbed or our joy taken from us by the circumstances of a very dark and fallen world. If you rely on things of the world, people of the world, ideas of the world to enable you to show kindness, then you're never really going to be able to. Not very often anyway, and certainly not in the way that we're commanded to by Jesus Christ. So what I want to encourage you to do today is I want you to first read Romans 12:21. Read the whole chapter 12 of Romans. And then I want you to take to heart the lessons about overcoming evil, about being triumphant even in these divided times in which we live. And then go out and make the choice today to show kindness. Choose kindness. Because if you don't, what's left is only what the world has, and that's not good. It's not good for you, not good for them. I love you. Take care. I'll see you next time.